a relative noob like me make money in derivatives?
Right. So the good thing is it doesn't matter if the market's going up or down. You just have to choose the right direction, long or short. So imagine going on a DEX, no KYC, you just need like a MetaMask. You deposit your funds, and then based on what you think, right, the market will do, with a few clicks, you buy a contract. And that's pretty much what it would be like in the future. So just as easy as making swaps on the DEX.
Well, I mean, that kind of, look, that sounds a little bit too easy. I mean, look, I suppose when you put it that way, it's like just buying spot, right? Like you just buy, you're just going to go ahead and start building bags. Okay, cool, I get it. But I find generally, unless you're trading, it's easy to buy into projects because you're like, look,
Yeah.
you have some sort of medium long-term view, right? It's sort of an investor play versus a trading play. And I think trading is a whole different kettle of fish. That's where you get into TA and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like you would need some kind of baseline of understanding of what contracts you would want to execute in a derivatives play.
No, for sure. And then derivatives, right, in itself is a huge umbrella term. And the more you go deeper, like the more I would say complex it gets. It's really not easy. It's definitely not meant for the average mom. You should have some, I would say, experience
Right.
with finance and at least the willingness to learn. But that's why we're exactly on these, live streams and really putting out content there. Check out the CD's Medium, for example, that really simplifies what all of this means and how you can start.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go with one. Let's just go with one simple example of how. Let's say today. Okay, what out of those three? So options, perpetuals, futures, for example, right? What would be one of the easiest? What would be it sounds like options would be probably the lowest barrier to entry, because it's like it's pretty much no risk.
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of upsides to options by paying a small premium.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could, for me, like I'm just based on that. I'm like, well, the downside's known. You know what the downside is. It's whatever premium you're paying, right? So, and then the upside is actually I'd be doing options all day long. Now I think about it, because it's just kind of like I wouldn't call it a lottery ticket, but it's like, well, if you're right, then you go ahead and buy. If you're wrong, you just lost that money that you paid the premium for.
Right, exactly. But I mean, of course, there's other smaller caveats to do, but it's definitely a good place to start in terms of the types of contracts that you can buy.
So
Yeah.
so you think that out of all those, that would be probably the easiest way for somebody like myself who doesn't have like a lot of chart knowledge and understanding and looking at the macros and blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, look, let's go ahead and just take a punt on this. I'll put an option in 2 weeks at this. It's going to be at this price, or rather, I'm going to buy it. Let's say today, we're making a joke of going down to 20, but if I think, oh, it's going to go up to 40 in 2 weeks, I say, okay, I want to buy at today's price in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, if you had to choose, I think it's a good option,
Yeah.
right? Of course, every, I would say, person approaches differently, but I can tell you perpetuals and futures has a lot more mechanics behind it that you need to understand. So I think options is definitely a good place to start in terms of simplicity relative to the other derivatives.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's some way. So it's good just to maybe I'm trying to think of tangible examples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go options.
Yeah. Okay. Go
Yeah.
options. All right. I'm just kind of going, fleshing out some of these ideas here.